And these two separate ideologies are very complex. Anglophone countries have always demonstrated progress. They've always shown the way forward. But unfortunately, most of the Francophone countries have always been left behind. And you can see, even in the reasoning, you can see, even in the development of our countries. Anglophone countries have managed to be able to leapfrog on different sectors. If you look at Kenya as an example, Kenya developed the first money transfer system to be able to assist those less fortunate, people who are in rural areas, to be able to also get banking services. This is not something that is found across the continent of Africa. We have 55 countries. If Raila Amolo Odinga would have been given the opportunity to become the chairperson of the African Union Commission, to be able to advise the 55 presidents, to be able to give his wisdom on all the different organs of the African Union, so that we achieve the African Union goal of 2063, where we have good hospitals, where we have good road networks, where we trade, this continent would have had a very different perspective on good leadership. But that never happened. And in fact, if you compare the two candidates, I dare say, even in terms of understanding of the role that the chairperson of the African Union Commission plays, Raila Amolo Odinga was way much above the gentleman who eventually won. And this is easily demonstrated by the speech of the gentleman who was now declared the winner, when he came out and said, oh, they came with money, they know, but we only came with God. It shows a complete different understanding of what that role is. What I expected of Mohammed is that he would have said, we are now here as a continent. My role now is to act as a key advisor of all these 55 presidents. You know, a lot of people did not understand the role that Raila Amolo Odinga was going to play as the chairperson of the African Union Commission. The African Union Commission was established in 2001 and commissioned in 2002 as an organ to develop policy to support the African Union, heads of states. Mr. Speaker, you could equate it to the Council of Governors, where you have the Secretariat of the Council of Governors. The Council of Governors advises the 47 governors that we have in this country. So people took it differently, you know, but that demonstrates, that shows how powerful Raila Amolo Odinga is in this continent. When you sit with the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, he'll tell you that the vision he has for Africa is to unite the Nile, is to drench the Nile, so that we can have transport directly from Egypt coming down to East Africa. I hope that now the new chairperson of the African Union would be able to borrow that from Raila Amolo Odinga. I love what Raila Amolo Odinga said, that I'm still available to offer my services, my advice to the African continent, if any other position arises. That shows maturity when it comes to leading Africa. We're a continent that is divided. And unless we all sit down together and reevaluate the 2063 goals of the African Union, by 2063, you will still find African countries that still people beg in the streets. I think I'm tired of seeing people beg. I'm tired of going to our counties and finding that we have got no medicine, just because of the algorithm that is developed by international communities or India, United Kingdom, the US, when it comes to selling all their drugs to this country, that we cannot even develop our own drugs to be able to help our people get better. We just have to depend on this algorithm. I think it is about time that even if Raila Amolo Odinga did not become the chairperson of the African Union Commission, it is time for us to sit down with His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga and say, can you please demystify your vision so that even here in Kenya, we can be able to develop our foreign policy. We can be able to develop our foreign policy in a way that it assists us develop this nation. You know, when you sit with certain cabinet secretaries, they will tell you that the amount of wealth that we have in this country is enough to allow us pay all our debt, to allow us be able to lend money to other countries. These are things that we need to be discussing now. If we invest heavily in the mining sector of this country, we can be able to develop our economy. Mr. Speaker, sir, when I sit here, even the text messages that I receive of the potential of my own county of Narok when it comes to minerals is overwhelming. When I receive text messages of the potentials of where my good friend, the vice chair of PAC comes from, Taita Taveta, the potential of that county, the potential of Kwale in terms of the mining sector, that is enough to be able to help us leapfrog. And Mr. Speaker, with this current debate where America is talking about America first, where Germany is talking about Germany first, where they are saying now it is time for us to be real Americans. If you are a foreigner, ship off and go back to your country. I think it's about time that we take that unfortunate policy direction to make it better for us. Always take something negative and make something positive out of the outcome of it. If we can get these African brains who were economic refugees in America, who are economic refugees in Germany, come back and commit themselves in our continent, we can then be able to make a lot of progress. Mr. Speaker, I see this as a great opportunity for us to have our discussions on how we are going to end poverty in this African continent. Not only to talk about the war in DRC and Congo. You know, it's only the wearer of the shoe that knows where it hurts the most. When people criticize the president of Rwanda for taking a particular position when it comes to this issue of the war, the conflict with DRC, they are not the ones who are going to receive all those refugees who are going to troop into that country, small country. It is only him who knows the position. So when my colleagues talk about us or criticize the current president of this republic that he should have taken a different position, the position that SADC wanted to be taken, yet His Excellency President William Ruto is the chairperson of the East African Commission, what do they expect him to do? To go there and deviate from the role that the East African community want, for him to go and give his vision? I think it is important for all of us to understand the dynamics that plays. It is important for us to understand what is in our interest. If we have our neighbors being stable, it helps this country. If Rwanda is stable, Kenya is assisted. If